Welcome to our Sports Pad, your weekly half-hour look at Sooner sports from our perspective. I'm Josh Kopelman.
And I'm Rachel Sanchi.
Coming up on Sports Pad, men's basketball just needed some bedlam for its recent slump.
Plus, baseball brings out the brooms for its opening series.
Welcome to our Sports Pad. Rachel, it was a big sports week.
Yeah, we had baseball home opener, women's basketball, and then on the other side of the court, men's basketball, Bedlam.
Bedlam is always big. It was the first of two Sooner basketball games this week. The other was a loss to Baylor on Saturday, but Bedlam belonged to the Sooners on Wednesday, as Keaton Page and the Cowboys were in Norman. First half, though, all Sooners, as Romero Osby says. Allie, Cam Clark says, oop. Right there. He had 14 points in the game. OU up 30-12 at halftime, but Oklahoma State makes a comeback because of Keaton Page's three-point shooting. He was 8 for 9 in this, 8 of his 9 threes came in the second half. He had 29 in the game. That one made it a three-point game. But Romero Osby says, I want OU to pull away, so he makes that jumper. They gave OU a 9-point lead at that point, and later in the game, Steven Pledger says he's just going to put it away, knocking down the three. OU wins 77-64. Pledger finishes with 17 points, and Romero Osby puts up a double-double, 16 points and 13 boards. As we mentioned earlier, things did not go as well for OU in Waco on Saturday. The Sooners led at halftime, but Baylor pulled away late, winning 70-60. Pledger scored 21 in this one, but the Sooners did not make a three-point field goal in the game. This week, Oklahoma travels to Texas on Wednesday before returning home to play Texas A&M on Saturday for Senior Day.
And speaking of A&M, the women's team defeated the Aggies before losing on the road to Texas. The Longhorns' Chastity Fusel posted an impressive 30 of the 87 points scored against OU. Although the Sooners were never in it against the Longhorns, it was a completely different story as they took on number 14 Texas A&M in Norman last week. Whitney Hand and the Sooners were battling for second place in the Big 12 against Texas A&M. Hand, of course, starts off strong, getting the pass and finishes for 2. She's consistently racking up points for the Sooners. And then you have Nicole Griffin. She feeds it outside to Ellenberg, who makes it fall for another 2. Sooners were up 30-26 right here, right before the half. Going into the second, Ellenberg grabs the rebound right here and just runs all the way down to the end of the court, putting the Sooners up by 12. Ellenberg would finish with a game-high 23 points as the Sooners upset the 14th Aggies 64-55.
There were no upsets on the diamond as the 16th-ranked OU baseball squad swept Hartford in its home opening series this weekend. Friday, led by freshman catcher Hunter Lockwood's 2-home run, 3 RBI day, OU was able to hold on to win 9-6. Saturday, the Sooners rallied from a 4-0 deficit to take a 10-5 victory. Senior Caleb Bushyhead went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Sunday pitching got it done for Oklahoma's junior Stephen Okert, recording 9 strikeouts and 8 innings of work. OU went on, and OU won 8-3 to clinch the series sweep. This week, the Sooners face UT Arlington Wednesday night at L. Dale Mitchell Park and travel to New Mexico this weekend to battle the Lobos. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Brant Morrell looks at the hot start for OU's freshman catcher.
And we take a look at top-ranked Sooner team's tango with the Hawkeyes. Plus, its star will be in the studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite
The baseball team had many newcomers join them in the offseason, but one in particular is standing out. Our sports pad, Brant Morrell, has more on this upcoming freshman.
That's right, Rachel. Most freshmen aren't expected to make an impact, but Hunter Lockwood is not most freshmen. If you don't know freshman catcher Hunter Lockwood by now, you should get used to the name.
I mean, it's a lot of fun to get up there and swing the bat a little bit. I mean, that's really what I like to do. I come up here and hit all day. That's just one of the things that gets me going about baseball. It's my favorite part about it.
Hitting is not just his favorite part of the game, but his greatest strength. Lockwood hit 4 home runs this weekend to lift the Sooners to a sweep of Hartford. Coach Sonny Galloway knows Lockwood has the power. Now he needs to develop the patience to improve from the plate.
You know, he was facing the guy right there with bases loaded, and he got a little jumpy. He chased 2 off-speed pitches, and he needed to go to the plate right there and just hunt a fastball. But these games are to identify weaknesses and develop off of that, and we'll be able to do that.
Will be tested on Wednesday at 5:30 against the University of Texas on Arlington. Hey Rachel, what happened with gymnastics over the weekend?
Good question. The first home meet of the season, men's gymnastics hosted number 12 Iowa Saturday at the McCaslin Fieldhouse. The Sooners and Hawkeyes last met in 2010 NCAA qualifier. OU is ranked number 1 in the nation for the 5th straight week and is coming off of a conference tri-meet win against Cal and Stanford. OU is also ranked in the top 5 for each of the 6 events: 1st in floor, 2nd in ring, 2nd in high bar, 3rd in vault, 4th in pommel horse, and 5th in parallel bars. Saturday against Iowa, OU posted their highest score of the season with a 356.25. The Sooners took titles in every event. Plus, Jake Dalton took the all-around title. Here's what head coach Mark Williams had to say about the Sooners' first home meet.
It was great. Guys had great energy all the way through. Came up with a really nice team score, our highest of the year. I think they really appreciated being in front of the home crowd again, and real pleased all the way across.
The number 2 ranked women's gymnastics team came up big in front of its home crowd against number 21 Michigan and TWU. The Sooners defeated the Wolverines 197.225 to 196.3. Sarah Stone, the nation's top-ranked vaulter, tied for the highest score in the vault with a 9.95. But the story of the night was Megan Ferguson, who posted the highest score in the bars, beam, and floor. Ferguson helped carry her team with a dominant performance on the beam, scoring a high 9.975. That's a career-high 9.975. Nationally, she's ranked number 1 on the beam, 2nd on the floor, and 3rd on the bars this season.
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. I mean, one of my biggest dreams in college is to get a perfect 10, and especially on, probably my favorite event, beam, is even more exciting for me. So I got half of that tonight, so that's the closest I've ever been, so I'm just really happy about it.
The Sooners men and women's track and field teams closed out competition at the Big 12 Indoor Championship Saturday, with 3 Sooners placing individually. The men collected a total of 98 points to claim 3rd, while the women racked up 53 points to finish 8th. Tia Brooks took her 2nd consecutive Big 12 title in the women's shot put with a meet and stadium record-setting 65 6 3/4 inches. Eric Harrison took 1st in the 1,000-meter run with 2:24.27, 3rd best in program history. George Alex came from behind to sweep the 3,000-meter run with 8:01.85. Next up, the qualifying Sooners travel to the NCAA Indoor Championships in Napa, Idaho, March 9th.
Over on the courts, the men's tennis team played a close one Sunday with Pepperdine. OU took the first point in doubles in a close 2-1 victory, making it 5 for 6 in doubles points this year. That point kept the Sooners in the match with a couple powerhouse singles wins from Dane Webb and Guillermo Alcorta, but it wasn't enough to stop the waves. The match came down to a close 3-set loss with Svetjan Mihov losing an early lead, giving Pepperdine the win 4-3. After the match, freshman Dane Webb spoke about the importance of winning doubles.
It doesn't seem like that big of a difference, 1 point, but I mean it's a big difference when it comes down to the end of only having to win like 3 singles or 4 singles. So I think like if you consistently get up 1-0 every time, then it's going to give you like the best chance of winning.
Number 9 Oklahoma swept number 14 UCO this weekend. Friday night they won 3-2 at the Blazers Ice Center, and Saturday night was senior night with a strong win of 4-1. Getting revenge against UCO from losses earlier this season, junior forward Nick Powers scored the opening goal against UCO on Saturday. The Sooners begin their first round of the American Collegiate Hockey Association National Tournament this Saturday night against Iowa State in Ohio. Captain Blake Martin talked about what this season has meant to OU hockey.
This season has been kind of a stepping stone for OU hockey. We've knocked off a couple number 1 teams this year, number 2 teams and number 3 teams. Made a big statement this year that we're a good team and that we're going to make a run for nationals.
The number 6 Oklahoma softball team went 2-2 in the Cathedral City Classic this past weekend. The Sooners dropped their last 2 games to number 14 Stanford and 13th ranked Georgia. The Sooners were able to squeeze in a non-tournament game while still in Palm Springs. OU blanked Boise State 9-0 in 5 innings. Sophomore Brittany Williams knocked out 2 home runs. Sooners take on LSU Friday at 6 p.m. for their home opener. Stick around for more Sports Pad because Blake Griffin was flying high at the NBA All-Star Game.
Plus, a women's gymnast gets a special surprise. We propose that you stick around. After their win against Michigan and TWU, Sooner gymnast Candace Sindel got a little surprise from an OU mascot.
After the women's gymnastics meet on Friday, one of the gymnasts had no idea what her boyfriend was about to do.
Aaron and I have been conniving behind closed doors, trying to pick the right time, and he wanted it to be very special, obviously, for her. And they met here at OU, and so it all seemed to be right time, right place. So I'm excited for her.
Senior gymnast Candace Sindel was proposed to by her boyfriend Aaron, one of the mascots here at OU.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for her. Those two are made for each other. He is Boomer or Sooner, I'm not quite sure which one, but he's one of the mascots, and so they have like the exact same personality, totally outgoing and cheering, and it's amazing. It was adorable, and I think it was, we were just talking about on my bucket list, I've never seen anyone get engaged before, so check.
Aaron is just so perfect and so wonderful, and he just knows me so well, and I'm so happy I get to spend the rest of my life with him. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I'm going to be Mrs. Blackerby. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Wow, okay. But he did so good. The ring fits, it's beautiful, it's everything I could ever want, and I'm so happy. And
What a beautiful ring and a clever way to do it. No way she's disappointed with that. Well, coming up, what is it like to be ranked #1 all around?
Stay tuned to find out because when we come back, OSP's Matthew Fresquez will sit down with Sooner gymnast Jake Dalton.
Welcome back to our Sports Pad. Matthew Fresquez is here with OU gymnast Jake Dalton.
Thanks, guys. And Jake, thank you so much for being here. Now, coming out of high school, you're coming from Reno, Nevada, and you're being recruited not only by top 10 schools, but top 5 schools like Penn State, Stanford, Cal. What was that experience like for you, and what made you ultimately choose Oklahoma?
It was really exciting. You know, in high school you have those options of going to those schools and being able to see them on recruiting trips, so it's always really exciting to see everyone. But mainly, you know, Oklahoma just had basically everything I was looking for. They had Jonathan Horton, who was on the national team as I was, and I just wanted to continue with USA Gymnastics along with competing in college, and the school works with you really well when you want to do stuff like that. And you know, the atmosphere of the team. I came and we did a whole scavenger hunt on Halloween, and just the whole team was just a huge impact on me, and I just fell in love with the school and the team and everything.
All right, now your first 2 years here, you have received 7 All-American honors. Last year you won 2 individual NCAA titles in floor and in vault. What are your goals for this season's NCAA finals?
In finals, just mainly first the team. You know, we're hosting it here, so it's all about the team, and you know, I'm going to do everything we can just to push ourselves and make sure that we come out #1. That's our goal, and that's what we started the season with as a goal, and you know, it's getting closer. So we're just going to keep looking forward to that, and you know, just put in the work and see how it turns out.
Now, last season, you guys finished second in the NCAA finals to Stanford. You guys beat them 2 weeks ago in Berkeley. You guys face them again here in Norman on Saturday. Is there an element of revenge or payback that comes when you guys face them?
I don't know really about revenge, but you know, it's always nice to win. So they're a good school, they're a good team. They've lost a few people this year, so you know, it was a good rivalry meet, and it was nice to come out on top. So there's always a little bit of competition, but yeah, it was definitely good to come out on top.
Now, you mentioned already the NCAA Finals is here in Norman at the Lloyd Noble Center. How big an advantage is that for you and the team, having it basically being a home meet?
I think it's going to be huge. We'll have the crowd behind us. We'll have our families, our friends, everybody who's in town. Hopefully, everybody we know should be coming to our meet and watching us. So it's going to be really exciting to have just the crowd and everybody. The atmosphere should be great, and we always compete really well at home, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. Get some alumni back, and just it'll be a really good atmosphere to compete in. So.
Now, really quick, you are actually trying to make the 2012 London Olympics team. How's that going?
It's going well. I'm going to the Pacific Rim Championships in a few weeks, March 17th, I think. So I'll be missing our last home meet. So those guys will be taking on, I think it's Air Force in Nebraska without me, which will be good. Yeah, so it'll be fun. But it's going good. We competed at Worlds last year, ended up third, so it was a lot of fun.
Well, it's been great having you, and good luck the rest of the season. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Matthew. SportsPad is going to take a timeout before we get to all those points in the NBA All-Star Game, including Kevin Durant's most valuable performance. Stay tuned.
Okay, H.O. Boomers, Boomers, let's go, okay, H.O. Boomers,
Welcome back. It's the biggest plays and the biggest names in the NBA. It's the All-Star Game from Orlando on Sunday. That's all a valuable game from a Thunder player. Here's the highlights. Both teams coming out to the Fog Machine. Trust me, it was a pretty good game. It was all offense. Kevin Durant, the Thunder had a big game. Kevin Durant ended up being named MVP. Western Conference All-Stars won 159-149. Guys, we'll start with that. Brant Morrell and Matt Fresquez. Oh, well, there's some highlights. Hey, that's the West team right there. Blake Griffin and all them. Usually there's not much defense play, but Carmelo Anthony decides he'll play some. You'll see the Western Conference All-Stars just jogging back. So LeBron James with the easy dunk for two, and then later, there's no Eastern Conference All-Stars going back, but Kevin Durant from the bank from Chris Paul dunking it in. Durant 37 points in the game, and as I said, he was the MVP. This is Kobe Bryant making some history. That dunk, he passes Michael Jordan's record for most points in an All-Star game history. He's now at 270. This ball being tipped out later. LeBron James decides he's just going to knock down a three. He says, Kobe, I'll try to pass you one day.
Before he breaks his nose.
Before. Kobe Bryant ended up breaking his nose in this game. This is, we need to see some Blake Griffin, don't we? It just wouldn't be an All-Star game without a Blake Griffin dunk, right? Well, it was actually a close game. 152-149. Last chance for the Eastern Conference All-Stars. Dwayne Wade didn't really want to see this one go into overtime. He airballs it. Durant scores 36, as I said earlier, and he's named MVP of the game. West wins it 152-149.
It was a good game.
Yeah, pretty good game. Now we're joined by Brant Morrell and Matt Fresquez. Guys?
Not really a defensive affair in the NBA All-Star game ever, but great performance by Kevin Durant. He really deserved that MVP, ousting LeBron James, who had just as many points, but he threw the ball away, and Kevin Durant came up big in the clutch.
Durant's team won, eventually.
Exactly.
LeBron James, yeah. I noticed they went to Dwayne Wade for the final shot, not LeBron James.
I know. I'm not surprised, though.
We'll see. Maybe we'll see that from the Heat. What are your thoughts on the game?
I hate when you don't see defense being played, and then the one time that you see defense really being played, a player ends up breaking his nose, and now he has a concussion. Kobe Bryant might not play now for the next couple games with the NBA's new concussion rules, so don't play defense. That's what I've learned is don't play defense.
That's something that could hurt the Lakers down the stretch.
Definitely.
They're in that stretch of Western Conference teams that's just this close to making the playoffs, this far away. Rachel, what are your thoughts on the game?
I thought it was a pretty good game. It is all offense. Everybody wants to show off, look good. But it was high scoring, and it was fun to watch.
Now, getting over to the Diamond, baseball saw a series sweep against Hartford after they lost their season opener to Pepperdine. Brant, quick take on that.
It was a great series. We've touched on Hunter Lockwood and his power from the plate, but something I was really impressed of was the left-hand pitcher, Stephen Okert, got 9 Ks on Sunday.
Okert had a dominant performance, Matt.
Something that I saw was really interesting, Magnifico, 105 hit the thing, but he needs to tone it back. When he tones it back, he has the control without it.
He did have control problems this weekend, getting into the jams on Friday and Sunday, but Sooners able to win both games. But that's all the time we're going to have for tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us.
You can watch our show next Monday on OU TV, same place, same time. I'm Rachel Sanchi. That's Josh Kopelman. And on behalf of our entire student team here on our Sports Pad, good night.